Hi everyone, so we're back, PKM Weekly, another week's gone by, and lots going on this week, so let's get right to it, shall we? So Capacities, that's up first. So they've done a what not next, and the reason they did this is basically a list of the features and improvements that they do not see being implemented in Capacities either in the short term or the medium to short term, or the longer term, as it's not part of their plans. The reason why they did this is that basically transparency is key to them, and they realize or they appreciate that Capacities is not for everyone. So they want to make it clear to all of the users, to potential users and current users, that this is what is likely not to be implemented anytime soon. So if any of the features are indispensable to you, you can look elsewhere. So I've put the list here in short, but the best place is probably just to look at their own article, because it does give some reasoning, and they've split it into 3 sections. So not added anytime soon, so it's not a never list, but it's a not anytime soon list. A not for the near plan, or we don't have a clear plan for them, and not added from our current point of view or philosophy, so I take the last one as a little bit of a never list. And you can see through the list what type of things there are: handwriting on tablets, mind maps, automation and formulas, flashcards and spaced repetition, aliases, right to left support, and collaboration and team plans. That is the things that they are wanting to work on, but just not at the moment. So for example, handwriting on tablets, what they say is we think it can be added, but it's not a priority at the moment. Whiteboards, we think it's useful, but we'd rather focus on other things for the time being. SRS or flashcards, again, it's a feature that they can be added in the near future. So this top section is really things that they can do, but they just want to get the app in top-notch shape before doing these. No clear plan for them. Whole graph, basically graph view. So that's not likely to be anytime soon, or object inheritance. And there is a way that you can do it through a workaround, but it is a workaround that you can use at the moment. And then the not currently in the philosophy list is the end-to-end encryption, lifetime subscription, and plugins. The last two I can kind of understand. I mean, this lifetime subscription, they'd rather have a yearly plan, so just to keep Capacities sustainable. It doesn't have any venture capitalist funds or private equity from memory, so it's really just from users' subscription that they're keeping the team going, as well as some of their own funds. So that one you can understand. The plugins as well, I mean, Capacity is already good enough, so you don't really need plugins. But the one that is a little bit painful to read is the end-to-end encryption. Obviously, it would be nice to have the end-to-end encryption, especially with all the hacking, data leaks, and everything that you read day in, day out. And they do comment on why they don't see it as being anytime soon or in their current plans, because it basically impacts performance of Capacities. But hopefully, as they are quite open, I mean, this list was already changed once following feedback from the Discord. Hopefully it is something that maybe not a full end-to-end encryption across the whole app, but you can maybe have an area which is an end-to-end encrypted or something along those lines. And I think some users did point out that actually there are other apps which have end-to-end encryption and it's not impacted performance. But that aside, I mean, I think it's great that they have posted something like this. It does allow users to just understand, do I want to carry on with Capacities? Do I not? Are any of these features fundamental to me? So I can make my own mind up, and I can either look somewhere else or carry on with Capacities, but at least I know what's coming and what's not. Unlike our friends at Notion, who have been dangling the offline mode carrot for about 3 years or more, and it's never arriving. So at least Capacities were clear. Anton, he's posted a video on is Capacities the Obsidian replacement. He basically goes through it, how he was doing things in Obsidian, how he can do things, the same things and some others better within Capacities, and basically just goes through the video. So definitely do check that out if you are interested. And how Capacities uses AI. I mean, the app, from a user's point of view, they do want to integrate AI a lot more. They have posted quite a few times on how they see AI integration within Capacities to be key. Not necessarily to write our notes, but just to make things a little bit easier, to gain stuff from online sources, to look inside our notes, to basically return results that we want based on either our notes or external sources, so that we can have a bit of a balance of both. But I don't believe they want to basically say, or the intention is not, here, write my notes, and then you never look at them again, because that just defeats the whole purpose. But they want to integrate AI so that you can better your notes, so that you can make more out of them from that point of view. It's quite a long article, so do check that out if you're interested in seeing how Capacities uses AI. And last but not least, it's the electronic pen. They tested out Capacities for the first time, and they wrote a thorough guide on their experience in Medium. So if you are also looking to see what Capacities can do have a look at this article, because it does go through in depth of getting started, their feelings, their thoughts, and what they thought of it at the end. So that's Capacities. Logseq, what I did last week on Sunday is I played around with the DB version of Logseq. So if you have nothing better to do with your Sunday, you can watch me ramble on for about 45 minutes on the Logseq database version. It's actually pretty good. Lots of improvements, lots of great things coming. Still a few things that still need to be refined, fine-tuned and things, but it's definitely something on the devs' radar, and they are continuously working on it, with releases and updates being made weekly, if not daily. So that's definitely coming up. They have also implemented table search, which I believe, if I've understood the comments correctly, this allows you to basically just have a live search of things within a table, so that you can return whatever row it is, if you will, a bit like in Excel, that you can find whichever row or cell that what you're searching is on. So hopefully it's going to be something similar. And from here, what you can also see is that there are a lot of things going on with things that they're adding in, queries, FSRS, and the completed ones. You can see it's basically just being updated. I mean, there's 3 weeks, 2 weeks, last week. So the DB version is definitely alive and kicking. On that note, I haven't seen anything concrete of when it will be released or when it's going to be made available to the backers and subscribers. So I think that's the next step. So it's now in closed alpha. That's then going to go to the backers and the subscribers. And then after a bit of testing, it's going to go to the wider public as a beta, I believe. But I do not know when these milestones are going to be achieved. So when I do, I will post them here. So hopefully that's going to be made available by the team soon. And then this user posted, AI Rabbit uses Apple devices, and he's looking to sync his notes across all 3 of his Apple devices. And he's used Cloud Sync, if I remember rightly, as opposed to Logseq Sync. And he's basically did a workaround guide of how you can do the same. So if you are interested and you are an Apple user, check this out, because it might be of help. Tana, office hours are back. Matt and Brage, they're back on a Thursday, 5 days time, Thursday 24th, 2:30 till 3 European time. And they're going to go through the recent updates that have been going on in Tana, the status of the mobile app and more. And just on that one, on the status of the mobile app, obviously the team had hoped to have the app released by in September, start of October. That didn't quite materialize, but what I do know is, just from reading the Slack channels, is that they have got test flight, or whatever it's called, with a number of users testing the app out. So it is being refined, developed and updated, and it's only a matter of time, I think, until it's released to the general public. So just a little bit more patience, and I'm sure it will be with us soon. And if you're interested in the office hours, do sign up in the Luma one or the YouTube one directly. At least you can just get there quicker. Release notes. This is Faye. I think it is. She posted quite a funny one. So 46 commits this week, but things that we can actually talk about are only 5, which are just down here, which we'll get to in a second. So that does show that there's about 41 commits, or not about, there are 41 commits that the team did which we cannot talk about, or we don't know what they are. So hopefully either Matt and Brage will share some insights into what these commits were, or we will find out about them soon enough. And the ones that they have improved over the past week or fixed, you can see them here and read them through. And then Andre, he's got Inbox AI, basically an integration with various different things that you can do on the Mac and Tana. And what he's done in this video is he's looked at audio commands and integrating them with Tana. So if you don't know what Inbox AI is, please do check out the link. And if you're interested in what it can do have a look through the video, because it does seem to have a lot of capabilities. So thank you, Andre, for sharing that and doing it. Obsidian. So Obsidian versus Capacities, another one of which tool versus which tool. So in this one, there's obviously advantages and disadvantages to both. So if you're interested in seeing what users thought, I mean, a lot of the comments are, is it local? Do you prefer local, online, cloud? Which format, etc., features. So it's a lot of that, but it also does give you, in the responses here, it does give you the users' insight of why, rather than being local, they preferred online or cloud-based. So it just gives you maybe a different point of view that you hadn't thought of beforehand. So do check that out if you're on the fence. Obsidian 1.7, this one has been billed through various different tweets as the best released since Obsidian 1.0. I think that's maybe a little bit far-fetched, but it certainly has a lot going for it. So a lot of faster start time. Capano, who has about 14,000 notes, his the mobile app now starts up in 1-point-something seconds as opposed to 7 seconds. So I mean, already 7 seconds is not bad, but you've got that down to 1 to 2 seconds. So it's definitely an improvement there. Editable page previews and footnotes, so you can now edit them in place. So just hover over the link and you can actually edit the page rather than having to navigate to the page, make the change, and then navigate back. So that's definitely a quality of life improvement. Some publish updates, some bug fixes, and some mobile improvements as well. And rather than list them all out, because there was just way too many, I'll show you what I mean. So this is 1.7, this is the mobile version. So you can see the list going on and on and on. So lots of work being done by the devs. And the desktop version is not that far behind, with lots of updates and lots of things that have been implemented of late. So do check that out if you're interested. And the good thing is that Danny, what he did was a video on the editable page preview, and he looks at the Obsidian web clipper, which is currently in beta. So with the editable page preview, he goes through how it works, how you can use it. And what I found very useful of the video was the walkthrough that he does of the Obsidian web clipper. So how you can install it, how you can set it up, how he sets his version up so that he can get the best of annotating web pages and various different things. So do check that out if you haven't already done so. And what I thought was very good for the Obsidian web clipper is that if you visit a page and you highlight it, and then you visit that page later on, it will actually show you what you've highlighted previously. So rather than just basically extracting texts, if you will, what it shows you is the highlights that you've done at the various different moments. So well done to the Obsidian team, because I didn't think it could do that. And thank you for Danny for pointing that out. Now we've got some other apps as well, so a lot going on. So Scrintal, they had a launch party to launch their Playground for the Mind tool. And what they did is basically did an hour-long session, I think it was, with one of the devs, Eche, I think, and Bianca, who's a prominent user of Scrintal. And they go through how you can use it, what it does, how you can implement it in your methodology and your workflow. And it's definitely worthwhile having a look if you haven't already done so, because it's got a lot of power behind it. So there's a lot there of how not only you can visualize your notes, but you can tweak them, rejig them, basically a playground for the mind so that you can set it up as you want. And they do talk about various other things within Scrintal as well that I didn't realize were possible. So one to definitely keep an eye out on. And if not, what you can also do is check out some reviews from a couple of users or app reviewers and see what they think of it. And there's a lot more on YouTube, obviously. RemNote, what they've done is they've implemented AI, and I probably can't do it justice enough here. So what I'll do is I'll open the tweet that they posted from one of the team, and what it can do is create flashcards, tutor chat, image to text, flashcard insight, grading, MCQ explanations, and PDF cards, and a lot more. So if you are wondering of the capabilities of RemNote and RemNote AI, do check out this video and the tweet that is linked here, because they go through it in a lot more detail and explain the features of what it can do a lot better than I can. So do check that out, and kudos to the RemNote team, because very impressive of what they were able to achieve. So can't wait to see some of the users' feedback on that one. And then they have a fireside chat going. I just realized I didn't put the link or the date, so I'll add that before I post. And what it's going to be is debating the most obscure non-academic uses of RemNote. And I think this is a great topic, because I think a lot of the perception when you speak about RemNote is that it's an app for students, an app for academics. It's got SRS built in, flashcards. A lot of the chat is about the SRS features, but it's not only that. RemNote is a lot more than that. It's got backlinks, PDF annotation, daily notes, you name it, it's probably got it. So if you haven't already checked out RemNote because you think it's too academic or too student-based, put that aside and definitely do check it out, because it's got a lot more going than that. CUN, they were in first place on GitHub trending. I'm not too sure exactly what this is, but as they were in first place, it must be good. So well done to them. And if you haven't already also checked out CUN, please do, because again, it's very similar to Obsidian. It's got a lot of things inbuilt within it. So things that you would need a plugin for Obsidian, CUN's already got them built in, and it is growing. They are increasing the capabilities day in, day out. So please do have a look at that app if you haven't already done so. It doesn't store the files in Markdown, but it uses a different file format, which basically still saved locally, and you can export very easily to various different formats. So do have a look at that. Appfully, another one which is very up and coming and doing a lot of cool things and releasing a lot of good stuff. So now what they've done is they've implemented a Notion importer. So what you just need to do is bring in your Notion zip file, import that into your Appfully account with one click, and you're good to go. So if you're able to get a decent Notion zip file export, then you should be good to go. So it's not going to be Appfully's fault. If anything, it's going to be Notion's fault, because their export is not great. And what they've also done is they're going to look at some upcoming features. So new editor features, calendar filters, share and publish via mobile. So that's pretty cool. So you don't even need your computer anymore. Custom site URLs or your own domain name, and editor and database improvements. So a lot of things coming up and a lot of good things. So well done, Appfully. Heptabase, it is now possible to attach highlight cards to mind maps. So you can see the demo there from the devs. And also, what I just stumbled upon, and I'm not sure if this was already live from a while back or if it's something new, but they have a public wiki where you can see the public roadmap. So this is what they're working on in the near future, what they are done, they're testing internally but not yet shipped, and what's upcoming. And on the upcoming one, what you have is a next up. So this was updated 4 days ago. These are what they've highlighted as their priorities, so at least you can get an idea of the things that they're working on in the near future. And then of course there's a backlog page as well of things that they need to implement. So I thought this was quite cool, so very well done for Heptabase for releasing it, and apologies if it was already live from a while ago. I only stumbled it across this week, so I thought I would mention that to you. AnyType, a couple of videos on getting started. So if you don't know about AnyType or you're looking to get started, do check out these couple of videos. There's a lot there from these videos on how to get started, how the different sets, collections, pages, etc. work. So have a look through these ones. And last but not least, this was an app that was mentioned to me in a comment on Medium, I think it was. So I've called it newish. I only came across it last week or the week before, and it's actually pretty good in terms of what it can do. I'll just pull it up here. So it seems good. I just signed up for it. It's pretty quick to sign up, but I've not played around with it extensively. But what you can do from at least their website, take notes very fast, search your notes with AI, backlink visually, daily notes, search everything. So he's now searching serotonin deficit, and it brings up pages which are related to serotonin and deficits. So it's got like a bit of a fuzzy search within it, and it brings up the various different cards. And there's a lot more. So it is private, it's offline, and the notes are stored locally. So it's got a lot of, it's ticking a lot of the boxes. So do check that out, and I'll make sure I also play around with it this week so we can all see what it's about. And price-wise, if I remember right, it's $5.99 a month. Let me just see. You get a 14-day trial, if I remember right, or 14-day trial, and then it's $5.99 US per month. So not that expensive for potentially a lot of the features that are present in other apps, which cost a bit more. So that's it for this week. So thank you very much again for being here, and hope you have a good week ahead. Thanks, bye.